Team, this is my Ninja Woodfire Master Class. I know you've all been waiting for it for years and years and years. But here we go. I wanted to put this video together so you guys can get the most out of your Ninja Woodfire Grill. I'm gonna give you my top 8 cooks that I've done over the years on this Woodfire Grill. These cooks are pulled from my videos on YouTube, okay? So I've taken the time to kind of re-edit those videos and place them in this longer video. So guys, this is going to be a long video. I hope you guys, watch the whole thing so you could get tons of information on how to make your Ninja Woodfire experience the best it can be. But I'm also going to separate this into chapters. So if you want to skip a little bit and go to the pulled pork or go to the chicken, whatever, you'll be able to have the opportunity to do it. I've got my main proteins and a few sides, and then one little bonus video at the end, which is, a video I put out last year on, how to become a Ninja Master on the Woodfire. So you're getting tons and tons of information on this video. I've been wanting to put out something like this for a while, and I got a little push from one of my buddies to make it happen. So here we are. I have my notes down below, so if you see me kind of looking down, you're still, I'm trying not to mess this up and give me too much editing to do. First and foremost, I want you to take advantage of something I put together for y'all. It's my e-cookbooks, all right? There are 4 of them. You can buy them individually, but I suggest you get the bundle if you haven't got them already. The bundle will save you $5, so instead of buying them individually, you get the bundle. Links are down below for them in the video description, so make sure you check them out. There's just a shade under 100 recipes in there. It's easy to use, step by step. I've gotten great feedback over the years about my e-cookbooks, so I think you should take the time and check them out, okay? And do me a favor, comment down below your skill level with the Woodfire Grill, whether you're just starting out or you're someone who could probably write their own cookbook, okay? I wanna know what we're working with, people that are watching this video. First up, I'm gonna take you through the best brisket I've ever made on the Woodfire Grill. You're not gonna wanna miss this one. Got a little over a 4-pound brisket flat. Now basically this looks like the butcher at the store just cut the brisket in half. So there's a little bit of point muscle on there too. I did minimal trimming on it. In fact, I did probably the worst trimming job I've ever done on a brisket. I said maybe besides the first brisket I ever did on this one. So it doesn't look pretty, but it got the job done. Basically with your brisket trimming, you just want to get the fat cap down, that hard fat, right? You want to get some silver skin off of there. I'm gonna trim off any edges that'll burn, those scraggly bits, okay? So when you got your brisket flat and you're cooking it and you finish it up, you're going to want to cut against the grain, right? And that's how most meats go. In order to see that, cut a little slit in it where the grains run. So we'll know to cut, perpendicular to that slit. Season it up with some Circle Star brisket rub. This was given to me when I was out in Texas. I like it that it's not a very coarse rub, so it's gonna soak really well into this brisket. Once I got that done, we threw the temp spike in there, temp spike plus. Again, links down below. And with my link, you save a little bit of cash with the 2, so check it out. Bluetooth wireless thermometer, I use it on a lot of my cooks, love it. It's really reliable, okay? How we're gonna build that extra flavor on this brisket? Okay, we got different ways of doing it. One with the pellets. We're gonna use some Smokin pecan pellets. Now these are made from pecan shells. This isn't wood pressed, they have a bunch of oils in there or whatever. These are all natural. I really like using them. They produce tons of smoke, last for a lot longer than wooden pellets. So that's the first one. Next thing, we're spritzing it as we go. So we use a little mix of Worcestershire sauce with diluted with some water. So it's about 1 part Worcestershire sauce and 5 parts water. We got it in a little spray bottle. We'll spray it down as we go. We want the bark to set. We want that smoke to absorb, but we also don't want it to dry out too, okay? And that has a tendency to do in this Woodfire grill because it's such a confined space, right? Right. And then when we wrap it, usually I'll throw some beef stock in there or some consomme of some sort. This time I'm gonna use some French onion soup. It's the Campbell's condensed, the same thing you see us use, but I want that kind of oniony flavor to hit it. And obviously we're using that soup to braise too. We're gonna go ahead and smoke this brisket at 275, and I'll put the Celsius around here somewhere. And we're gonna take it all the way through. So we're gonna leave it on the smoker setting all the way through. Throwing our temp spike wireless thermometer in there. We're gonna monitor those temps, and we're gonna take it to about 165, 170 internal. Wrap it up in some tin foil. We'll get that soup on there. Wrap it up real tight. get it back on, and then take it to about 205-ish, and we'll use my instant read thermometer just to test it for probe tenderness. You want that probe to go in and out of that brisket, you know, like it's going through hot butter, right? I hope you're following along with me so far. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe if you're not there yet. But I really wanted to walk you through the steps, what was in my mind of what we're gonna do today. And now it's time to get it done, right? Right. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy fired up. What do you say? We got our wood fire on. Hello. We got our grill plate in there. We're gonna turn it to the smoker mode. The Woodfire flavor button's already lit up. Our Smokin pecan pellets are in there. We're gonna take this to 275. And the timing, I'm gonna take it all the way to like 8 hours. I don't know that it'll take that long, and we'll talk about it at the end on how long it takes. But, you know, I just don't want to have to mess with the timing as we're going. So again, we go to eternal temps, but we want to have enough time on there. So let's hit start. We're gonna let it go through that whole ignition process, make sure that smoke is rolling, and then we'll get our brisket on. Come on back. Woo! Look at all that smoke, baby. I'm telling you, y'all, this is what I'm talking about right here, the Smokin pecan shell pellets, all right? Look them up, check them out. This is a 2-pound bag. The wood fire, it'll last you forever. Like, not literally, but you get the idea. So let's go ahead and get our brisket on. We're throwing it right in the middle. Tighten it up a little bit. There's always a fight about the fat cap being up or down, right? You've heard it before in the barbecue world. We are doing fat cap up. My rule of thumb is you want your fat protecting the meat, right? And the heat source is coming from the top down on this cook, right? So we're putting the fat towards the heat to protect the meat. And then obviously some of it will render in there, but you're using it as like a protection. Okay, hope that makes sense for y'all. Go get this thing shut down, give it a nice long smoke bath. Okay guys, we're about half hour, 40 minutes or so in. We're temping out at 108. We got a little bit of I'm gonna move this around, it's hot, but whatever. Get starting a little dryness up here on the top. The bark is still a little tacky. Fat looks like it's starting to render. We're looking good. Give it a good spritz. We're gonna keep this nice and moist in here. You got that nice fat line through it, so that's gonna render real nice too. Set the lid. We'll come back in another half hour or so. Up on about 170 internal. I spritzed it a couple times. I didn't feel like I needed to come back every single time, but you just keep an eye on it. Let's get it down here. We'll get it wrapped up. All right, guys, let's take a look. Getting a little close up here. You can see there's a little bit of pooling. Not a big deal. All right, but we got some nice color on there. The bark is looking good. We have some nice fat render from the side right here. And then the other side, like I said, we got that pooling. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get this on here. I'm gonna pull this out. Pull that temp spike out real quick. We'll get it on the foil over here. Foil bolted up pretty good here. Now let's add this soup. This is just like that, the layers of flavor. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And this is gonna help braise, but also, you know, level it up, right? I'm gonna give it a little bit of spritz of the W sauce mix. Just adding a little extra flavor. Now let's get it wrapped up tight. I went ahead and I did a double wrap on it, just in case. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's pretty heavy duty tin foil. Got our temp spike plus back in. I'll shut this down and take it to about 205, 210. Right, team, we're 3 hours in. We're temping out at 207 on the temp spike. So now I want to go in with my lightning probe right here, and I just want to test for probe tenderness. Now that feels a little tight right there, even though it's temping out at 209. I don't know if it's coming through, but it's feeling a little tight right there. Go over here. Again, still feeling pretty tight. So even though it says it's up to temperature, theoretically it's up to temperature, we are going to let it go a little bit more. So we're about 3 hours into the cook right now. I think we should let it go for another half hour, 45 minutes out here, and then we'll take it off and let it rest. Y'all, we are into it for another 45 minutes or so. Probing tender now. It just needs a little extra time to break down those fibers and those collagen in there and all that. So we're gonna go ahead and take it off the wood fire right now, wrap it in a towel, and we're gonna let it rest at least an hour. Okay, maybe a little bit longer, but let it go at least an hour. Let everything just kind of chill out, reabsorb, rest, all that stuff. Let's go ahead and get it done. We've let this rest way over an hour. It is stuck to the bottom of the towel. It's still hot, so I have a glove on. Let's take a look. Whew, that's hot. So we got a nice, beautiful color on there. Let's get it out and slice it up. So you can see right here, this is the point muscle, so there's not very much of it. So we're gonna just cut it all in one deal. We're not gonna try to like move it around one way or another. See, the grains are going that way, so we're gonna cut perpendicular to it, right? We're gonna cut against the grain. I know I'm gonna get asked, this is the Dalstrong Pit Master Shadow Black series knife. I'll have a link down below for it, okay? So we're just gonna slice all the way through these. Just doing little 1/8 inch slices. So I'm gonna pick a slice out of here and we'll check the bend test. This lets you know that it's done, right? Nice and flappy. The pull test, you can see there's no resistance when you're pulling it, right? Give this thing a taste. I got a nice little piece of the point with the fat and the flat, all that good stuff. It's all there. So tender, so delicious, guys. This right here is the best brisket I've ever made on the Woodfires. That was an amazing brisket. I hope you guys do that exact recipe. You won't be disappointed. Next up, we're gonna go to our pulled pork recipe. Now, the reason I love pulled pork is because it's forgiving, okay? It's really tough to mess up, but even if you kind of overcook it, it doesn't hurt it. You're just shredding it up. It's pulled pork. Add some barbecue sauce, you're good. I've done a couple pulled pork recipes on the Woodfire on my channel. I actually did one with Mrs. CJ that I suggest, check it out. I'll put the link for it right there. I had her do start to finish a pulled pork recipe, and it was a great time. One of my favorite videos I've done on my channel, completely. But y'all seem to love Mrs. CJ, so I suggest you check out that one. I did want to include it in the master class because there's a lot of tomfoolery going around with me and her, but it's one you should check out. It's pretty fun. So let's check out that pulled pork video. I chopped up this big old pork butt. All right, we dug out the bone. I didn't go like surgical around that shoulder blade bone. Just save it for stock if you want to use it, or toss it. Most people are not going to use it for stock. Or you could buy a boneless pork shoulder like this too, or pork butt. So just cut it into really healthy cubes, right? Some of them are a little flatter, some are skinnier, some are fatter. It doesn't matter. We're gonna take the biggest pieces and everything along with it up to about 170 degrees in internal. And I'll put the Celsius right here for you guys. Once we get it there, we get in all that good smoke. We're gonna wrap it up on one of these foil pans, add a little apple juice to it, a little barbecue sauce to it, a little bit more of that rub, tint it up with some tin foil, and then let it braise until it gets to about 205, 210, right? Probe tender. We'll take our lightning insert reed and give it a, we'll test all the tenderness of them, pull it out, let it rest for a bit, and then we'll shred them up. And we're gonna have tons and tons of bark because we cut it up into little chunks, well, big chunks. Using the Twin Temp Spike Plus to monitor the temperatures. We're gonna use that awesome Temp Spike app to pay attention. It has 600 feet of Bluetooth connectivity. Guys, long battery life. The probes are waterproof. Can't go wrong if you get one of these. Listen, if you want any of my ThermoPro products that I use in my videos, my link's down below. It'll save you 15% if you use my code, and they're always doing awesome sales there. So for the pellets we're gonna use, of course, we're gonna use my Smokin Pecan pellets. Listen, they're made from 100% natural pecan shells, and they burn cleaner, they burn longer, and I really like them. My link down below will save you 10% if you wanna grab a box of them. Really, I stand by them, I really love them. So, and it's a great company, family owned, great business. Okay, nothing left to do. Let's go get that wood fire fired up and get some smoke on these bad boys. Let's go. All right, y'all, we got the grill plate in there. Let's get this bad boy on. We're gonna go to the smoker mode. We're gonna go hot and fast at 325 today. Let's take this to 5 hours. Should be enough time. We're going, like I said, hot and fast. Woodfire flavor button's lit. Let's hit start. Let's get that smoke rolling. Time to get these meaty boys on. You guys can probably hear I'm fighting with a gardener from the city right now. He's making a racket over there, but I had to get this on. This is what we're looking like. We got it kind of crowded in there, but that's all right. It'll shrink up as it cooks, but it's looking pretty good. Let's shut that lid and make it happen. All right, guys, we got these bad boys looking nice. Nice, dark, rich color on there. Let's go ahead and get them in that pan. Get ready to load them up. Gonna take these temp spikes out. until we wrap them, and then we'll put them back in. Look at that beautiful color on there. All right, let's get them in the house. 8 ounces of apple juice in. Got a few squeezes of this Blazing Star original barbecue sauce. Then we'll give it a little bit more of the Pecan rub here. And seal it up. Nice and tight. Get those temp spikes back in. Back on the pit. Back on, let's shut it down. Guys, we are up to temp. It's been about 3 hours, give or take. Time to pull this off and let it rest. So our pork is nice and rested. What I was talking about probe tender, this is what I mean. You're pressing it into the meat and it's going in like butter. Butter, baby, right? I didn't do this outside, but you get the idea. Go ahead and get these temp spikes out. Ta-da! It's that pulled pork goodness right there, baby. And look at all that bark. So we're just gonna take it, shred it. Easy as can be. Shred it in the juices, right? Don't mind a little fat in there. Fat's just flavor, baby. Just give it a good massage. While you're shredding it up, get a little bit more of that dust in there. Just adds more flavor. You can't over season this right now. You know we gotta give it a little bit more of that Blazing Star. Y'all, we're back in the house. Shredded this pork to perfection. Now we gotta get a bite. Guys, there's so much more flavor in here. And by doing it this way, cutting it up in chunks, it only took about 2.5 hours from start to finish. And then we gave it an hour rest, but we got through it pretty quickly. Guys, give this one a shot. It's so freaking good. Porky perfection, y'all. Pulled pork with tons of bark is always a winner in my book. And the way I developed it for that recipe, it's so much bark. Let's move on to the barbecue ribs. Okay, I use baby back ribs for this particular recipe, but you can use the St. Louis cut ribs too if that's all you can find. Same kind of parameters. St. Louis cut seem to take a little bit longer because they're, you know, thicker, meatier ribs, but same kind of setup, okay? Do it a little bit differently than what I usually do with my ribs. We're gonna go really low and slow, okay? We're gonna do 225 degrees, and we're just gonna let it cook, okay? Just gonna smoke them through. No wrapping, no fancy stuff. We just got a nice barbecue rub on there. We're gonna let it smoke until it comes up to about 205 degrees in there, okay, both racks. And then we're gonna baste it down with some barbecue sauce, give it another 5 minutes or so to set that sauce, and that's it. Okay, we're not gonna overthink this one. We're not gonna overcomplicate it with wrapping and sugar and honey and all that jazz that we normally put in there. We're just gonna keep it nice and simple, one long cook on the Woodfire XL, okay? We give it 1 round of pellets, all right? And I'll go over those real quick when we set it up. But other than that, guys, really, really simple recipe, or we just set it and forget it. I am gonna use one of the probes just to kind of track the temps while I'm inside, but other than that, nothing crazy. So what I did to get us to this point is prep the ribs, okay? I went ahead and took them out of the packaging and then got them dried off and cleaned up. These ribs did not have a membrane on the back for whatever reason, which I'm thankful for. But I'm also on, you know, team I don't care. So if you want to leave the membrane on, you can. If you want to take it off, you can. No big deal. But fortunately, I don't have to mess with it because they didn't have membrane, so go team. Anyway, then I sliced off the edges. At the thinner end, just meat that's just gonna dry out and become jerky. So I cut off those last 2 bones, and then more at the fattier end, there's just an edge with a bone on there that was kind of scraggly, so I just cut that off too. So I didn't go over trimming it because really I'm just cutting off a couple bones on the sides, so I mean, not big deal. Got them seasoned up with a little Cosmos Q honey chipotle killer bee. Now the barbecue sauce we're gonna use is an apple chipotle barbecue sauce, so I figured the 2 chipotles will meet and taste good. All right, so it'll be a nice sweet heat rib, and that's what I love. All right, that's where we're at. We're gonna get this thing fired up, get the smoke rolling. Mode, smoker mode. We're gonna take this, like I said, 225, right? Timing, let's just set it for 6 hours. I do not think it'll take 6 hours. but we're just doing that just in case. And we're also gonna monitor the temperatures. So hit start, let it go through the ignition process. We're good to go. All right, ribs are on. Looking too dang good. Look at that color of that Cosmos. Woo. All right, y'all, we're about 2 hours in. Let's take a look at the goodness. All right, so we got some wet spots and not so wet spots, right? That's okay. We're temping out at 159 right now. So normally I'd be getting ready to, wrap these pretty soon, but we're not gonna wrap. So I have a spritzer here, this little water bottle, or little bottle full of water, and we're just gonna spray it down. I'll shut it in a second. Just gonna help keep the ribs moist and lovely. All right, and we may come back and do that every half hour or so until they're done. But the color is awesome. It's gonna be nice and mahogany, dark. And then we'll get them sauced up. Be good stuff. All right, y'all, it's been about 4.5 hours, okay? We did a couple spritz along the way with some water. We got a very dark color on there. We're temping out almost to 200 degrees, so that's good enough for me to start putting some barbecue sauce on there. And again, we'll shut the lid on it so it tightens up that sauce, and then we'll slice into them and start enjoying them. Okay, let's go ahead and get over there and add the sauce. Yeah, so this is where we're at. I told you these things got pretty dark, but that's what happens when you just kind of hit them with smoke and let them cook the whole way through. And the rub we used had plenty of sugar in it, but that's okay. That's just good flavor. That's your bark building, well, actually built. So we are looking mighty fine. It's still pretty moist in there. Like I said, I've been giving it spritzes the whole time. Let's add our barbecue sauce. Got a little apple chipotle from Cosmos Q. Now, I've told you guys before, I'm not a big saucy kind of guy, but we're gonna add enough on there to add the flavor. Woo! Saucy! Don't worry about getting the barbecue sauce on your grill plate. Non-stick, you're good to go. Go ahead and get that brushed on. Some good color right there. Shiny, gorgeous. Oh yeah, make sure you just get it everywhere. Oh yeah, something sensual about this. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right, looking good, looking good. All right, y'all, we're gonna let this go for another 5 minutes or so. Get those ribs nice and tightened up, and we'll come back and give them a bite. Time to get these ribs off. We let them tack up a little bit. We use our Pit Master knife here to get them off and slice them up. Okay, looking good, baby, looking good. Go ahead and turn the grill off. Let's cut into these. Tender, looking good. Slicing through easily. Beautiful. And you're just slicing, in between the bones. No big deal. Plenty of juice in there. Nice little bit of fat, right? Gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, these are some beautiful looking ribs. That's a good bite right there. I'm gonna save that one for myself. Whew. Slice the rest of these. The glove I'm wearing, guys, is lined with cotton. These are still very hot. They're looking too good. So good, how good, that good. Let's go. All right, let's give them a try. Big meaty rib. It's gorgeous. All right, let's take a bite. Oh yeah, bad. Nice and tender. Guys, those are foolproof ribs every time. Next up, let's get to some chicken. There are 3 videos on this particular section. One of them is for whole chickens. And then I threw in some chicken breasts and then some chicken thighs. Okay, so we're breaking it down. Okay. We have 2 4.5 to 5 pound chickens, okay? I cook them to 160 internal and then pull them off and let them rest and carry over to 165 in the breast, okay? We're gonna use both of the probes that came with my XL, and I'll show you how we set it up on the app too. I prepared the birds, guys. I just took them out of the package, cleaned them up, dried them off, and then got them on a tray. I pushed apart all the skin away from the meat, all the way around the breast into the legs, as much as I could reach with that skin. Then the next thing I did was spray a little duck fat in there, just adding a little extra moisture, a little extra fat into the chicken breast, okay? If you guys do not have duck fat, use whatever oil you like to use, whatever spray oil, or butter. You know, most of the time I'll stuff my birds with butter around the skin. So however you want to do it, okay? And then I took some simple salt, pepper, garlic seasoning. Mine's from Uncle Steve's Shake. I'll put a link down below for them too. It just got it into the skin and then got it all the way around the skin, onto the meat, you know, just got it anywhere and everywhere, into the cavity, anywhere I could, okay? So you want to make sure you're getting those flavors going in there and absorbing while it's cooking. But as you're tearing apart the skin and shredding the chicken, all those good spices and flavors are going to kind of mix in there too. So you know, you want to make sure you got a well-seasoned bird. Now, those birds are sitting in the house right now. We're going to go ahead and get this fired up, get the birds on. Shouldn't take very long. These aren't the biggest birds in town. We go to the smoker setting. Let's do 325. Okay. Timing, I think it'll be under an hour, but just to be safe, we'll go ahead and keep it at 130. We'll hit start. We're gonna let it go through the ignition process. With the chickens, I did a kind of a half-ass trussing on it, just to keep them tight together. Don't follow me for trussing advice. I'm no butcher, but they're tight and fit perfectly in there, and we'll be good to go. All right, come on back when this is done igniting. Let's get these birds on. 1 and 2. See, we got plenty of room in there. Looking good. Let's go ahead and get our probes in. Got the gray one here. Yeah. Don't yell at me. All right, we're gonna go into the breast right here, the thick part. Okay. All right, plug that back in. We'll come in here on this breast. Get that in there. Now to the left here, I'll show you just setting it up, and you just stare at my beautiful chickens. Gotta love that ninja explosion. So we'll go to the thermometer. Yes, we add the thermometer, manual temp. I want it to go to 160. Save changes. Add another thermometer. Put thermometer 2 to 160. Save changes. All right, hear it in there again. All right, so both my thermometers are set for 160. See you back here when it's 160. All right, guys, the first chicken got up to temperature, went a little bit past 160, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that one off. Second one is damn near there. So pull the first one off, that's ready at up to temp. And then we'll get the second one off when it comes up to temp. Actually, as we're speaking, they're both up to temp now. All right, let's go ahead and get them off. It says give food. We're gonna get both of the birds off. We're gonna go ahead and tin them with a little foil on the side and let them rest. And then we'll give them a try. For birdies, I'll get you in for a close-up right here. Look at the freaking color on those bad boys. That is some gorgeousness. My thing's yelling at me to shut the lid. That is some gorgeousness right there. Let's get them off. We'll get them tinted up, and then we'll give them a try. Go ahead and get these birds off. I got my gloves on, so my skin is protected. I'm not gonna burn anything off. They're lined, you know, barbecue gloves. All right, get these beautiful birdies. Get them on a tray here. Telling you, those colors are amazing. Let's get these covered up. Just a loose tint on them. We're gonna let these rest for about 15-20 minutes, let those juices kind of redistribute. It took about 50 minutes, give or take. I wasn't watching exactly to the dot. I should have, but based on when I started filming, when whatever, took about 50 minutes. I was at 325, okay, for both birds. We've let this rest for a fair amount of time. I want to just kind of get into one of these breast pieces. All right, guys, I'm slicing into it, getting a little piece out of there. We'll check out the juiciness. Guys, it's not showing, but this thing is covered in juice. It's gorgeous. Love it. I'm squeezing enough out of there. Oh, there it is. There it is, guys. Just juicy can be. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, I just had to slice into the other one just to show it off. I mean, guys, that is just you can shower in all that juice. Love it, love it. All right, guys, this is awesome. All right, let's try it. All right, y'all, got me a little of the breast meat there, guys. I mean, a chicken breast, but pretty good. Guys, it's weird. For some reason, it tastes like somebody squeezed all the juice out of it. What did we do to get to this point? Took the chicken breast out of the package, trimmed up any little fat on there, nothing crazy, any little scraggly bits. And then I just seasoned them up with a little barbecue rub. I'm using Fire and Smoke's classic barbecue rub. Great flavor, great pepper in it. It's gonna work amazing with these chicken breasts, add great flavor to it. And then we're gonna actually use Fire and Smoke's barbecue sauce too when we get ready to put the barbecue sauce on. All right. So those chicken breasts are just chilling, letting all that seasoning kind of penetrate in there, sweat down a little bit. Now we're gonna be out here getting our wood fire set up. We're gonna use some Smokin pecan pellets. Guys, I really dig these pellets. I know you've seen me use them on the channel before. They're made of pecan shells, not actual wood. So I find they give a great flavor. They smoke a little bit longer in the Woodfire grill. If you guys want to get some, again, I'll throw a link down below. I'm gonna set the wood fire up to 325, and I'll put the Celsius in front of me here real quick. I find that I like to go a little hot and fast with the chicken. All right, or more so than like doing a low and slow with brisket or pulled pork or anything like that. So we're gonna take those up to an internal temperature about 150. Now, once we hit that 150, we're gonna baste it down with a little of that barbecue sauce, and then we're gonna turn the grill setting on and then grill off the top so we can crisp up and caramelize that skin, and that barbecue sauce we're gonna put on there just adds a different dimension of flavor and texture to it that you're gonna love. Doing all that will take the temperature to about 160 or so, and then we'll take them off, let them rest. It'll take you to the 165 where you wanna be, and we'll have very juicy, tender, lovely flavored breasts. All right, team, we got our grill grate in there. Gonna turn on our wood fire. Hello. We are gonna use the smoker mode. Change that temp to 325. There you go. The default time on there is 3 hours. It's not gonna take that much time at all, but I'm not gonna mess with it. We're going by temperature, right? We got our temp spike here, right? We're gonna go by that. So let's hit start. Let it go through that ignition process, and we'll add them breasts on. You see that smoke rolling? Let's go ahead and get these chickens on. Woo, smoky. All right, number one, got Big Bertha here in the middle. This last one on. Look at them beautiful birdie parts. Let's give them a smoke bath. We're taking it to 150, 155 internal. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, we are temping out at 150. We'll get you in close on these beautiful birdie parts. All right, guys, those are looking too good. Let's take them off. We'll brush them down with a little of that barbecue sauce and then fire up the grill. Let's go. Whew. Chickens off and put them on the tray over here. Those are looking gorgeous. Gorgeous. What we're gonna do is shut this down. Go ahead and just turn it off. Okay. Bye, bye, bye. Sorry. Couldn't help myself. All right, turn it back on. Grill setting, it starts out on low, so get the high, hit start. All right, let it go through that preheating process. While we're doing that, let's brush down these chickens with a little of that barbecue sauce. All right, we're going on with a little Old Town Original Barbecue by Fire and Smoke. All right, we're gonna get these things completely sauced up. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit on each birdie part. Give that a little try. Oh, that's good. Sweet, got a little bit of spice. Oh yeah, babe. All right, get it nice and painted on. And then we throw these back on the grill. It'll caramelize this barbecue sauce. Give it a sear, give it a little bit of char, right? And then after that's done, maybe we'll brush a little bit more on. I told y'all before, I'm not a saucy kind of guy, so we'll see how we feel after they're grilled off. Y'all, those are looking way too good. Just wait till we get a little bit of char on them. Let's get them chickens grilling. Ah, wrong side. All right. While we got them flipped over, add a little bit more sauce. And it's okay if someone gets on your grill. It's non-stick. Don't stress it. Y'all know that is some good looking birdie parts right there. Nice and glazed up, got some char on there. Ooh, those are looking too good, perfectly cooked. Let's get them off and get them on a cutting board. We've given these plenty of time to rest. Go ahead and slice off a piece from the rib cage. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but I did not do it that way. But you can see how beautiful, moist, and juicy it is on the inside right there. All right, we'll just cut some little slices off. That awesome barbecue chicken. Got it nice and caramelized. Oh yeah, those are looking too dang good, boys and girls. So nice and juicy. Beautiful color. Cooked all the way through. You don't like to squeeze the meat too much, but you can see it's beautifully cooked. Juicy as can be. All right, let's give it a bite. What do you say? We got a little piece of that chicken breast right here, perfectly cooked. Juicy as can be. Nice caramelized, charred skin on there. Let's get a bite. You know that's finger looking good, baby. Grilled chicken thighs like I would do on a weeknight dinner. Okay, nothing fancy about them. We're going to use the grill setting, right? Nothing crazy. We're gonna have some Smokin pecan pellets in there to add a little smoke flavor. Use that Woodfire technology button, right? But really, this is about as simple as you can get. Now, all I did was I took a value package of chicken thighs. They're boneless, skinless. They're gonna cook up pretty fast in there. Got them in a little gallon baggie. Threw a little olive oil in there, right? A little hot sauce, because you like it a little caliente, right? And of course, we're adding my West Coast shake in there. Y'all want to get some, link down below. Put in the comments of that order that CJ sent you, and maybe you get a little extra something in that bag, right? Or in the box, whatever. So that takes us up to now. We got that chicken seasoned up. I got a bag of it right here. It's been chilling in the fridge for a few hours now. Got a nice little time to marinate, right? That's it. We're gonna get outside, get those pellets in. The Smokin pecan pellets, guys. These are by far my favorite pellets for the Woodfire Grill. There's a link down below. Use my link, it'll save you 10% on your order. Pretty damn good deal, all right? They burn longer, a lot cleaner, and they're really good for pretty much any protein you throw in there. I'm gonna get this bad boy on. Hello, how you doing? It's on the grill setting. We're gonna turn that up to high. Time, let's take it to 15 minutes. I don't think it'll take that long, but you know, just in case. Hit that Woodfire flavor button, hit start, let it go through the ignition process, that preheat, and we'll get our chickens on. Preheating is done. It says time to add the food. So team, let's add that food. Our chicken thighs down. That sizzle, sizzle. We're gonna go the top side down first. Get those good grill marks on there. One more on. Chicken's on. Looking dang good. So what we're gonna do is shut this lid now. Give it some of that smoke as it's grilling, right? And these will just turn out magical. We'll have that good Woodfire flavor. Gonna give it 2 or 3 minutes on this side. Give it a flip, another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll check our temperatures with our lightning insert read. Use a flip. That chicken's looking nice. These are cooking up real fast, as thighs do. Looking good. All right, another couple minutes, get that good smoke. Give it a little bit more time. We're gonna give it another little flip, and we'll finish it out like this. You wanna check some temps. All right, 154. There you go, still in the 150s. So a couple minutes each way, and then we're flipping it for the third time, and then this is how we're gonna finish it up, all right? Hey y'all, chicken's done. Let's check the temps. Yeah, all right, cool, we're good. Let's go ahead and pull these off, and we'll give them a little bite. All right, y'all, we got the chicken off the grill. Got me a little piece right here. I mean, I know it's good. This is what I do normally. This is my go-to, all right? Quick, easy. Now those are some tasty chickens. All right, time for some good old-fashioned steak going on the grill. My favorite way to cook steaks is reverse searing them. It's a technique where you bring up the temperature of your steak slowly, give it some smoke, all that, and then you jack up those temperatures on your grill, all the way up to the high setting, and you get a nice sear on your steaks. So you get that nice crust, but you get pretty much wall-to-wall pink in there, and that's kind of what I dig. So reverse searing is the way I cook all my steaks. Here's a big old ribeye steak that I threw on that Woodfire grill. What did we do to get to this point? Well, we got to get that steak treated right. And the first thing I like to do is a little dry brine on it. We got tons of kosher salt going all over that bad boy. And then we're going to let it set. All right, just chill. What that salt's going to do is bring out some of that moisture, and then draw in that flavor of the salt in there, penetrate in that meat. It's the way I do steaks every time, and I suggest you do it too. So we let that steak dry brine for about 2 or 3 hours. Guys, I like to do it overnight in the fridge, but I didn't have the time for that today. I want that steak right now. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. So this is where we're at. Once that steak had some time to dry brine, we're going to add a little barbecue rub to it. Now I'm using some Uncle Steve's shake. He made a special steak for me and Mrs. CJ. Mrs. CJ can't have the onion. She's allergic to it, so the onion powder in there jacks her up. So I got a special shake, but I'll put a link down below to his shakes, and you can check them all out. I'm personally, for beef, I like the Lucky Shake, but that competition cow shake is not to be slept on. So we got that steak nice and covered all the way around, back, forth, side to side. It's a big old steak. It's almost 3 pounds, about 2.5 inches thick, so it can handle tons of seasoning. Then, of course, we're gonna throw our Temp Spike Plus in there. Guys, I swear by my Temp Spikes. I'll tell you what, with 600 feet of Bluetooth connectivity, I can leave that thing outside and I could be inside where it's nice and cool like Mother Nature intended, all right? So once we get in there, we're gonna set up that Temp Spike app. We're gonna set it to the rare setting because that's what we're gonna bring it up to. So about 125. I'll put the Celsius like here, somewhere in there, like I do. And then we'll pull it off, start searing it up. To set up that Woodfire grill, we're using some Smokin Pecan pellets. Guys, I'll throw a link down below. You click on my link, that first order saves you 10%. So guys, stuff I like. It burns cleaner, burns longer, and it just tastes better than normal wood pellets because they're made from pecan shells, not pecan wood. So good stuff, guys. Set it on the smoker setting, 275. Again, we'll put the Celsius right here. I have it set for an hour on the default. It'll take less time than that probably to come up to temp. That's why we don't cook the time, we cook the temperatures. And then we're gonna hit start, let it go through the ignition process, get that smoke rolling, and then we'll throw that steak on there and give it a nice little smoke back. We're gonna pull that steak off, set it aside on a tray, and then we're gonna fire up the Woodfire to the grill setting high. All right, so it's gonna take a few minutes to come up to temp. Preheat that grill plate. Once it's done preheating, we're gonna slap that steak on there. We're gonna give it about a minute each side. That'll finish up bringing our temperature to medium rare, right? And give it those awesome sear marks that we all know and love. Once we get that steak totally seared off, both sides looking right, we're up to temperature. We're gonna put it on a tray and let it rest for at least 15 minutes. You wanna let all those juices reabsorb, chill out, and just get ready to be sliced into. Now that steak is rested, let's go ahead and slice into that bad boy. Guys, this is looking too good. Got a beautiful color in there. You cook it to your desired temperature, but I try to go with what the family likes, and this is what the family likes. Now it's time to get a bite. That is too dang good. Tender, juicy, lovely. Y'all, that was such a great steak. Dude, I'm still thinking about it right now. Okay, we got through our major proteins. Now let's talk sides. The Woodfire isn't just for meat, it's a great overall cooker. Here are a few of my favorite side dishes that I've made on the Woodfire Grill. Oh, we're gonna do some baked potatoes. We're gonna do them smoked on that Woodfire grill. What did we do to get to this point? We gotta get our potatoes ready. So first thing we do is we scrub those potatoes because you know they're dirty as all get out by the time they get to us from the grocery store. And then got them on a tray, a little olive oil all over them, coated them real nice, and then put a little salt. Now that's gonna help kind of crispify that skin on the outside of the potato, give it a lot of good flavor with that salt. That's pretty much how I do all my potatoes, whether we're baking in the oven, the grills, whatever, okay? Next thing, get that temp spike in there. Now, you don't have to have a temperature probe in there, but for me, I like to take my potatoes to about 210 degrees internal in there. That way you know it's cooked all the way through. It's gonna be nice and cloud-like softness in there. We're gonna set this beautiful machine to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll put the Celsius right here somewhere, okay? And then we're gonna use the bake setting with the Woodfire button. So we're gonna get some of that Woodfire flavor, but we're just gonna use the bake setting. If you have one of the Woodfires that only have the 3 settings on it, use the smoker setting. We're gonna get this thing fired up, let it go through that ignition process, and then get those spuds on. These should take from about 40 to 60 minutes. These are pretty good sized russet potatoes, so kind of take that into account. That's why we're putting the probe in there. So yeah, it's a little bit of hedging our bets as we go. You know, we don't want to just guess at it. We want to make sure we're where we want to be. I'll put a link down below for the temp spike. You use my link, save you a little bit of cash. Bad boy on, go to the mode bake setting. Gonna go 400 degrees. And time, 1 hour. Hit that Woodfire flavor button, hit start, let it go through the ignition process, and we'll come on back and get those potatoes on. Smoke is rolling, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get these on. Shut it down. We'll see you when they're ready. Team, these took about an hour. I just opened up the deal. Check them out. Got a nice dark color to them. The skin is nice and crispy. I pulled out that temp spike, which hit 210 about the same time the time was up on this, so got planted out pretty well. So you're shooting for, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your climate and, you know, elevation, all that stuff. But these are ready to go. I've pierced them with a knife. They're nice and tender. Got tons of smoke flavor on the outside of them, so they're looking good. They're gonna taste good. I got my steak, my cheese, little Uncle Steve shake to put over the top, some butter. Let's go ahead and doctor one up right here and give it a taste test. What do you say? Let's get one of these potatoes off. I got some heat resistant gloves here. Gonna go ahead and cut down the middle and just give it a little push up the sides here. Whew. Looking gorgeous. You see the skins nice and crunchy. Now have tons and tons of flavor. You can see the steam coming out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some get our little stuff here to doctor it up. Go in with a little bit of butter or a lot of butter. It's up to you. Fan of the butter. Go on with some cheese. Yes, please. We got our steak right here. Guys, this is straight up Wagyu flank steak that I did on the kettle the other day. Oh, so good. Let's grab a little bit more cheese on the top. And we're making a mess, but that's okay. Then we're gonna add a little extra flavor in there with some Uncle Steve's Lucky Shake. All right. And you know we need to get a little green onion on there. Gotta give it that pop of color, what do you say? Dug me out a big old bite of that potato. Got my steak, got my cheese, butter, green onions. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with that right there. Look, you're not getting that much smoke on the inside flesh. Now, if you eat that skin, you're gonna get some smoke because it got hit with the smoke. But it was just a nice little subtle, you know, hint of it in there where it's not overpowering, it's not out of whack, it's nothing crazy. But you can taste it, it's like, hey, you got some Woodfire flavor, okay? As we got the bounty from the county here. We got a bunch of veggies that we love to grill. You know, on any of our grills, but I'm showing you the Woodfire grill today. Simple process. We're gonna chop up some of these vegetables, get them ready to go. We got the corn already husked. Got some zucchini that we're gonna slice and make, you know, nice little thin planks. Yeah. And planks to grill, right? Asparagus, got some peppers on there too. We're gonna get them all chopped up and get them ready to go, get them on that grill. Just a little olive oil, and of course we're gonna use my West Coast shake seasoning here. This is my personal shake, my personal seasoning. Got all the good flavors of the West Coast. Citrus, chili, garlic, cumin, all the good stuff that works really well with vegetables. So it's a great rub to go with it, okay? If you wanna get some, you know, of course there's a link down below in the video description, right? And if you order it, put in the comments that CJ sent you, and then, you know, my Uncle Steve will send you out maybe a little something extra in there, all right? Check it out. We're gonna do this in kind of a batches way of doing things. We're gonna get the corn on there first, okay? That's gonna take the longest amount of time. And then we'll start working our veggies on as we go. Like the peppers take a little bit more time. The zucchinis, you know, the grilled asparagus. All these things kind of take a little bit of time. We're using my XL grill, but you can use your whatever grill you have, okay? As there isn't a whole lot to it. We're gonna give it some good flavor. I'm gonna get the veggies on there as they start grilling, right? We'll shut that lid, make sure it gets some good smoke so we get that wood fire flavor. But we're gonna be moving and grooving with it. You cook your veggies to the doneness you like. I'll cook mine to the doneness I like. But you know, each vegetable shouldn't take that long. Besides the corn will probably take the longest amount of time. Grill plate in there. Let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on. Hello, how you doing? All right, it's already on the grill setting. Grill setting, it's on low. We wanna go up to medium. Timing wise, we're gonna put it an hour. Like I said, we probably won't need it, but we'll have it. Hit our wood fire flavor button, hit start, let it go through ignition, the preheat, and then we'll get our veggies on. Y'all is saying to add food. Woo! Smokin'. So let's add that food. Like I said, we're gonna go on with the corn first. There's our corn. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start working on these peppers to get them on too. Peppers on. Get our bell peppers on too. I'm doing the skin side down on these. Bell peppers on. Shut it down. Let it get a little bit of that smoke too. And obviously it's gonna be cooking up real nice. We're gonna get a nice char on there already, you can tell. All right, shut it down. All right, we let it go about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn this around. Just flip, come on. Slippery little guy. Let's rotate our corn a little bit. Get some nice beautiful color on them. Our peppers are getting nice and blistered. Get that nice char, nice color. Doing well. All right, another 5 minutes or so, we'll pull off the peppers. We're gonna leave the corn on for a little bit longer and we'll start working on that zucchini. Time to pull these off and start working on the zucchini. Like I said, we're leaving the corn on for a little bit longer. It's about 20 minutes or so for the corn. Everything else will go a lot quicker. We got the peppers off. Now let's get those zucchinis on. Got that zucchini on. Should only take about 2 or 3 minutes aside. We're good to go. I shut it down. Come on back. All right, we're rocking with them a good grill marks. Time to get that corn off, and we'll get the asparagus on next. Okay, we got the zucchini off. It was looking good. Threw the asparagus on. We want it nice and flat and touching the grill plate, right? Don't need to overcrowd it if you can avoid it. Asparagus is gonna take about 8, 9, 10 minutes or so. All right, I'll shut the lid in a second. I'm gonna rotate these a little bit, after the first 5 minutes or so, and then we'll finish them off. While the asparagus finishes up, I know this is kind of a bunch of different kind of cooks in there, all rolled into the veggie thing. I kind of want to go over them, one by one on, how long they're going to take. So with the corn, I put it on there for a good 20 minutes, rotated it every 5 minutes or so. So we got a nice grill, evenly all the way around it. The bell peppers and the Anaheim peppers, those got about 10 minutes each. Flipped it about halfway through. Again, if you like your vegetables a little bit more, done and soft, then, maybe add 5 minutes to each part of the cook, okay? Next part, zucchini. Zucchini took about 10 minutes too. Flipped it about halfway. You're getting a nice little grill mark on there, but you're also cooking it all the way through. And then the asparagus, 8, 9, 10 minutes, okay? And you'll move them about halfway through too. Okay, so you want a nice even grilling all the way through. So with the wood fire, you're getting about 45 minutes worth of smoke in there while you're grilling. So when you shut it down, still getting a nice smoke flavor on there. So the wood fired flavor, right? So we're almost done with the asparagus. We'll go ahead and get those off, get them on a plate, give them a try. Almost done, guys. Come on back. Time to get the asparagus off. It's looking nice, looking right, looking good. Let's get it off. I'm gonna take a couple pictures for the gram, and then we'll give it a bite. Team, that is a beautiful bounty. I am not gonna try every one of these vegetables on camera here. You're just gonna have to take my word for it, guys. They're all done perfectly. I don't really need to take a bite on camera, guys. It's just vegetables. So don't stress it. Team, we're gonna be making some armadillo eggs. You're asking yourself, what's an armadillo egg? Well, it's just a perfect Super Bowl appetizer, or, regular Tuesday night, want to have something different, you guys are going to give this a try. We're going to smoke them on our Ninja Woodfire Grill. Now I'm using my XL, but you can do this in your regular one. You could actually do this in the oven because you're not grilling anything, you're just smoking it. So use the same temps in the oven as you do in the Woodfire Grill, you'll be solid, okay? Now, what is armadillo egg? It is a jalapeno stuffed with some cream cheese and cheddar cheese, right? A little bit of seasonings in there, and then wrap that in breakfast sausage, and then wrap that in some bacon, right? Little seasoning on top. Gonna smoke it for about an hour, give or take, and then we're gonna give it a little glaze with some Kinder's barbecue sauce. All right, not sponsored. I just picked this up at the grocery store. I like the nozzle here. I could just spray it over the whatever I'm cooking, but the armadillo eggs as it is. Now the pellets we're going to use is going to make a big difference on this one, okay? I was reached out to by Smokin Pecan, and they have pellets. Now these aren't normal pellets. These are pellets made from pecan shells. Now I've had these for a while. I've used them a few times, but these gave off such a great flavor. The Smokin Pecan pellets are all natural. I like it. I like the smoke that it produces. It's a nice, good flavor smoke, all right, that I think will pair great with these armadillo eggs. So I'll put a link down below. You can check them out. So what did we do to get to this point? Well, we had to set up the armadillo eggs, okay? So we took some jalapenos, we cored them out. I used a paring knife to cut off the top, kind of get in there, slice in there a little bit, but ultimately I just took the back of a spoon and then scraped it out. Got all the way around the jalapeno, pulled out the seeds, pulled out the ribs of it, the membrane in there, got it all out, right? Have a nice, perfect pocket for our cheese concoction, right? Speaking of that, we took some whipped cream cheese. Now I like the whipped better because it's a little airier, a little not as heavy as regular cream cheese. Threw some Colby Jack in there, about equal amounts, okay? And then seasoned up with a little Uncle Steve's sweet and spicier shake. Pretty simple. Got it really, really mixed up, really thoroughly mixed up together. Then I put it in a gallon baggie, smushed it all down to the side, cut off a corner, took the mix in that baggie and piped it into the, to the cored out end of the jalapeno, right? Pretty simple so far. You're with me? I hope so. Thumbs up, right? Comment down below that you're with me. Anyway, took that breakfast sausage, made a little patty out of it, and then wrapped it all the way around the jalapeno. Now you want to make sure you get it nice and evenly, you know, patted around. We kind of want to seal up that end because that cheese will kind of melt out. I'm almost guaranteeing you will have some kind of cheese leak on one of these while we're cooking. So if it happens to you, don't worry about it. And then we wrapped it up with a couple pieces of bacon. Now I used a real thin, stretchy kind of bacon. Like this with a thick cut bacon won't work as well because you want that bacon to kind of fall over it, wrap onto itself, be moldable, you know, with the sausage in there. So I took a couple pieces each. If you have bigger jalapenos, it might take a little bit more. You can't go wrong with more bacon than less bacon, so just kind of roll with it. Took those, seasoned them up with a little more Uncle Steve sweet and spicy on the outside, and then I stuck my temp spike in there. I'm gonna keep an eye on these, but I want to make sure the internal temperature gets at least like 170, 175, because that means that outside sausage has gotten a lot more cooked. That outside bacon has got a lot more cooked too. We want to make sure we cook it all the way through. So once it hits to that 170 point in there and we see that the bacon's nice and crispy and the sausage is nice and cooked, then we'll go ahead and open it up, get some of that Kinder's barbecue sauce on there, give it another few minutes for that barbecue sauce to set, and then we're eating good in the neighborhood. All right, simple-ish, right? There's some steps to go, but I think the reward, the payoff at the end, you're gonna dig it, right? Right. Nothing left to do but get that smoke rolling on the wood fire. So let's come on down here. We're gonna set up that wood fire to 275. We'll let it go through the ignition process and then put the armadillo eggs on there, right? So we get all that heavy duty white smoke out, right? But guys, I'm excited about this one. Football season's coming to an end, but we got that big game coming up. This is gonna be perfect for it, all right? Trust me, you make a handful of these, people are never gonna leave. All right, let's get this thing fired up. Talked enough already. We got our grill plate in there, our Smokin pecan pellets in. Gonna turn this on. Hello, how you doing? We're gonna go to the smoker setting. There's your wood fire. We're already at 275, so that works. 2 hours will be plenty of time. So let's just hit start. Let it go through that ignition process, and we'll get those bad boys on. Guys, that smoke is rolling. Time to add the armadillo eggs. All right, guys, beautiful smoke. Let's get our armadillo eggs on. Of course, you know we gotta line them up, right? All right, shut it down. We'll see you in an hour. Team, we're about 40 minutes in. We're still smoking pretty good. All right, let's take a look. See, we got a couple blowouts, no big deal. We kind of figured that would happen, but we are up to temp on the inside. Kind of want to check. There we go. All right, we're good as far as temps go, but I want these to crisp up a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna give it another 15 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get the Kinders on. Now we're in. These things are done. They're done cooking. They're still getting smoke. Those Smokin pecan pellets are still smoking, right? So hey, you're getting your money's worth. That 2-pound bag in a wood fire will last you forever. So you guys. I have a big old box of it over here. I'll use in my other cookers, but these little 2-pound bags are perfect. They're still smoking. Now it's time to get some barbecue sauce on them. Let that tack up for another 10, 15 minutes, but then we'll be eating good. So let's go ahead and check on these bad boys and get some sauce. All right, y'all, let's take a look. Woo, see, still smoking. That to me is a lot better smoke, a lot longer smoke than any other pellets I've been using. So it's a good look. Okay, here's what we're looking at. We got some blowouts. I did not get them is sealed up as I thought, but that's okay. Get that cleaned up, we'll get some barbecue sauce on them, and we'll finish them up. All right, we got our Kinders here. Let's get them nice and saucy. Okay, I want to go ahead and get these little brushed down. Gorgeous color, nice dark, deep, rich mahogany. These things are gonna be gorgeous, or at least as gorgeous as armadillo eggs can be. All right, another 10 minutes, and we'll come back to them. Time to chop into one of these bad boys. Use my Pit Master knife. Just go right through it. Oh, that's nice right there. Just oozing on out, baby. All right, let's give it a try. We got our little bite right here. Oh, man. That is so good. It just covers all the flavors of the rainbow. Smoky, spicy, sweet, savory. Those were too good, guys. Last up, I've added my how to become a Ninja Woodfire Master video. These are some extra tips and tricks that you're not going to want to miss. I watched it all the way through. It's a video I'm very proud of because I've taken a lot of the stuff I've learned and gave it to y'all. So this is a little extra bonus on this one. All right, if you're new to the Ninja Woodfire Grill or oven, or maybe you had it for a long time and you're struggling to master it, well, you guys are want to stick around for this whole video. My name is CJ and I have been developing recipes and making cooking videos for the Woodfire Grill and Oven for over 2 years now. I have over 100 video recipes. So some might say I'm a Ninja Woodfire Master. Not me, but some might say. So with that, I want to show you my 8 tips to becoming a Ninja Woodfire Master yourself. Let's get started. So the first thing I suggest you do is buy my e-cookbooks, okay? I've written 4 of them. It's close to about 100 recipes, a little bit less, I believe. And I've written 4 of them for the Woodfire Grill, and I've actually written a separate one for the Woodfire Oven. I will put links all down below for them. So if you're looking for recipe ideas for, right away, you don't have to wait for it to be sent to you. You grab it, you download it, and all these beautiful recipes will be yours. I make them as simple as I can make them. So I give you an ingredients list. I give you how to prep everything and cook everything and smoke everything, all that good stuff. I'll break it down so it gives you an estimate on time, how long it takes, even though I preach cooking to temperature and not time. On the Woodfire Grill cookbooks, they work for the XL or for the regular one. And in those Woodfire Grill cookbooks, I've even put some of the Woodfire Oven recipes. So I had a little cross post in there, but I really suggest you get a hold of them. The cost is minimal, all right? They're $5 each, $15 for the bundle of the 4 Woodfire Grill cookbooks, and then it's $5 for the Woodfire Oven cookbook. Can't go wrong with those at all. Trust me, and I'm sure some people will put in the comments that have already supported and bought the cookbooks that they really like them too. I think just as of today, I've sold almost 6,000 copies of one of the cookbooks along the way. So 6,000 people can't be wrong. I've said this before, and you'll probably hear me mention it a couple other times throughout the video. Make sure you're cooking to internal temperatures. Now, I get that you want to have some kind of general idea of how long something takes. So I tried to share that in my videos, and obviously I put those on my recipes. But knowing how to cook to internal temperatures is key. The way I do that is by using these thermometers, right? These are by ThermoPro. These are Bluetooth wireless thermometers, and then I have instant read thermometers, okay? The reason why I preach that so much is that we're in different areas, right? So you may cook something in Tennessee and the humidity is crazy, your elevation is a little higher, whatever, than it is here in Southern California. So you never know, something might take a little bit longer. Sometimes the cookers aren't consistent. So someone's Woodfire Grill in the UK might be built just a tad bit different than the one that I have here in Southern California, right? So cooking to internal temperatures is where it's at. And guys, I say it in pretty much all my videos too. Get one of these ThermoPro instant read thermometers or the Bluetooth wireless, temp spikes. It is completely worth it and it will change your barbecue game. With the instant read thermometers, they're accurate within a second, right? They're waterproof. You keep them outside, keep them inside, use them all year round. With the temp spike thermometers, especially the temp spike plus thermometers, they have an intuitive app you can use on all your cooks, right? You can mess with it on your couch, track it while you're on your couch, and make barbecue about as easy as can be, right? Right. With the temp spike plus, you have a range of over 600 feet. So I could be smoking a brisket in my backyard and still be able to check on it in my front yard. So we got plenty of space in between, plenty of range. So again, I really suggest you look into those thermometers. They will make your cooks so much better. My next tip is to make sure you invest in the accessories that you can get off their website. I'll put links down below for everything I'm going to talk about, but you definitely want to make sure you get that cover first and foremost. These are outdoor grills. I know Ninja says to bring them indoors when you're not using them, but no one I know is going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So invest in that cover. All my Ninja Woodfire grills, ovens, whatever, they're all covered in the backyard. Okay, just like any of my other grills out there, smokers out there, okay? That stand that comes with it is sturdy and strong. I have one. I don't use it as much because I have a workbench that I put them on. Kind of helps like as my outdoor studio. But for most people, getting that stand works out perfectly. Has a little side shelf. Can't go wrong with it. The next accessory I would get would be the griddle plate. Now it comes with the grill plate, but that griddle plate is perfect for smash burgers, for cheesesteaks, all that good stuff. I've even made some pancakes on it before. So that griddle is non-stick. It's perfect for that wood fire grill, and I suggest you get one. Last accessory I think you should get, especially if you have the XL wood fire grill, is that rib rack. You're able to hold 4 racks of ribs, full racks of ribs in there. If you have that OG one, the rib racks do not work for that, okay? It's only for the XL grill. But I think by now, a lot of you people have that XL grill. If you have the OG Woodfire grill, you're gonna have to cut your ribs, the rack of ribs in half, stack them up a little bit, but you make it work, and it is what it is. So those are the accessories I suggest you get. If you think of any that I didn't mention, throw a comment down below, and I'll address it, okay? Next tip, take some time and experiment with the pellets you want to use while you're using your Woodfire grill and oven. You do not have to use the pellets that come with the Woodfire grill and oven. I actually work with Bear Mountain Barbecue. All right, they're the company that makes Ninja's pellets. They work great. I like working with them, but I have found a pellet that I like using more than any other, and it's the Smokin pecan pellets. You've seen it in a lot of my videos recently. These pellets are made from pecan shells, not pecan wood. They're made from the shells. All right, so they're all natural, and I found that they burn a lot cleaner. The smoke is a lot better flavor, right? And they burn longer. So if you'd like to give them a shot too, I'll put a link down below. You check them out. That is an affiliate link. All the links I'm telling you as I go here, they're affiliate links. They don't cost you more to use them, but they help out your boy, help out the channel. So before you take that advice on getting the Smokin pecan pellets, you know, experiment. Some people like apple wood pellets with like their pork and chicken. Some people like a stronger hickory and mesquite with their beef. But I find these pecan shell pellets work great with any protein I've put in there. And it's even great when I bake with it. So if I do a little smoked mac and cheese, those pecan shell pellets work perfectly for it. All right, next tip, watch your cooking temperatures, okay? Especially if you're cooking something that has instructions on the packaging. I'm not talking about my cookbooks. Those temperatures, use those, okay? But if you're using something that has some kind of packaging and it gives a suggestion, so like a take and bake pizza, or like some mac and cheese that comes from like Costco or whatever, I suggest you lower the recommended temperature by at least 25 degrees. You have to remember that those instructions are for a regular home convection oven style thing, okay? If you're cooking in that wood fire grill, it's a more condensed space, so you're getting a lot more condensed and concentrated heat, right? You wanna lower those temperatures at least 25 degrees. And it will help make the difference between maybe burning your meal or cooking it perfectly, okay? You still may have to watch it, adjust your timing of it, but lower those temps and see the difference it makes. Next tip, make sure you're paying attention to your pellets burning. I get so many comments that people say they hit the ignition, they get the food in there, all that stuff, and they'll get a little bit of smoke or it'll smolder for a hot second and then it goes out. That's the hard part about having a cooker that you can kind of walk away from. Sometimes you don't notice that the pellets aren't burning, there isn't smoke, okay? It's getting cooked, right? But you're not getting the smoke you want. So take some time, walk out there, pay attention, whatever you gotta do, and see that your pellets are burning, okay? See that smoke's going through the machine. If it's not, all you have to do is press that Woodfire button, you know, the Woodfire flavor technology button, hold it for 3 seconds, and it'll reignite those pellets, and you'll get the smoke rolling in no time. It's the same steps if you're trying to add pellets after you've already burned through that first cup. So you have a long cook, you're doing a brisket, you're doing pork butt, you want to add a little bit more smoke, you go ahead and dump a little bit more pellets in there. If you catch it in time where those pellets are still smoldering, then you might be all right. The new pellets might catch. But if you have let them burn all the way through, or they're not catching, again, all you're doing is pressing that Woodfire flavor button, hold it for 3 seconds, and I'll get that ignition rolling, get that fired up, get the smoke rolling. Next up, you wanna make sure you keep your Woodfire clean. Now, when I say clean, I want you to clean those grill plates, the griddle plates, whatever. I want you to empty that grease trap. Wipe all around you can, you know, around the heating element, you know, with the little warm water, you know, a nice rag. But do not obsess about keeping the inside of the hood clean, spotless, whatever. I've done a video on how to completely clean your Woodfire grill, but you gotta keep in mind that this is an outdoor grill, right? The rest of my outdoor grills get smoky, get creosote, get grease everywhere, whatever. I don't treat my Woodfire any different. I periodically clean it. I actually use a little barbecue degreaser, okay? A little warm soapy water, dry it out. Don't ever submerge it, right? This is an electrical appliance. You don't want to put that in water. But those are the things I use to periodically give it a deep clean. But as you're using it for regular, daily, weekly use, you do not have to spend a bunch of time trying to scrub the inside unless you really want to. So don't obsess over it, don't stress over it. Just make sure your grill plate's clean, everything's nice and wiped up, get that grease trap emptied, all that good stuff, and you'll be in good shape. All right, last tip, take advantage of all the functions on your Woodfire grill or oven. I'm speaking more about the grill right now, because there's a little bit more functionality to it. And I'm guilty of this too. Usually I'm using the smoker or the grill setting pretty much the majority of my cooks. But don't be afraid to mess around and use that air fryer setting. Don't be afraid to make some jerky with that dehydrating function, or bake a smoked apple pie using that bake setting. Mess with it a little bit, experiment, have some fun. Don't just stick with the grill and the smoker settings, okay? Just, I thought I'd throw it in there because so many people don't think to do a little bit extra with their, their Woodfire grills, right? So I wanted to put it in your head that you can do so much more than just smoke or grill. And remember, if you do want that smoke flavor in any of those functions, all you do is press that Woodfire flavor technology button and you could have your smoked apple pie, right? You could have your smoked jerky, smoked air fried wings. So it's worth it to mess around with it and try all the functions on your Woodfire grill. These are my latest tips and tricks for your Woodfire grill and oven. It's my goal to make you a Ninja Woodfire Master too. And I'm hoping that with all the videos I put together, my cookbooks, my website, all that stuff has helped you get on your way. But if you're not part of all those things, or you haven't checked them out yet and you're new to that Woodfire grill or oven, take the time, hit that subscribe button, check out cookingwithcj.com, check out my videos, check out the cookbooks, all that good stuff. All right, team, we've come to the end of my master class. If you've made it this far, comment down below. I'm gonna do a giveaway to one person who's watched the whole video and comment down below. I'm gonna go ahead and track it for the first month that this video is live, and then I'll reach out to the winner. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Ninja Woodfire Master Class. If you guys wanna grab a Woodfire grill, or maybe it's time for you to grab a new one, I'll put a link down below. It's an affiliate link, but it doesn't cost you any more to use it, and it helps out your boy. For all the items that I used in these videos along the way, I'll have links down below too. Again, nothing costs you more to use. Actually, some of them save you a little bit of cash, and it helps out your boy. Helps out the channel, keeps great content coming. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. All right, if you guys want to become a show producer like all the awesome people scrolling in front of me, these are some people that are probably some Ninja Woodfire Masters too. There are two ways to join up. Either you hit that Patreon link in my video description, or you hit that join button right next to the subscribe button, which you should have already hit by now. But other than that, guys, we're done. Listen, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for cooking with CJ. Take care.